Hey guys, like I said before, I'm gonna be looking at me and not the camera right now. But basically, what I want to talk about is human trafficking and how human trafficking is so that needs to be talked about more in this world. I was doing research and other things like that. So give me a second. All right. So human trafficking can include sex trafficking, forced labor, and debit bondage, child soldier, organ trafficking, and marriage, and other things like that. And basically, human trafficking involves recruiting, transporting, or holding victims to exploit them or to help someone to exploit them, generally for sexual purposes or work. Traffickers get their victims to comply through different forms of coercion, and they get their victims through the use of physical force, threats, manipulation, or other tactics. They use them for financial gain. So people human traffic people victims for their gain, and the victims is their loss because they have no control of themselves anymore because they belong to someone else now. And people vulnerable populations who have little social and legal protection are most at risk. So people who don't really interact with people, or people who's hiding under the grid, are at a higher risk are at a higher risk for um to be human trafficked. And human trafficking predators, they look for people who are hoping for a better life, people who lack employment, people who have an unstable home life, or people who have a history of sexual and physical abuse, runaway kids, and more things like that. um Human trafficking is something that I feel that needs to be talked about more because, like I said before, it happens every day, just like any other crime. It happens every day, but the fact that people, humans are trafficking humans, which doesn't make sense to me. Like you traffic your own kind, you sell your own kind, you kidnap your own kind, which doesn't make sense to me at all. And it's just like human trafficking is something that is something that goes on behind the scenes, that goes on in secret and private that people don't know about. That's why I feel like that's another reason why people don't really talk about human trafficking, because it happens behind the scenes. It's crazy, And another thing is, like, nowadays, like before human trafficking, like the predators, they would get their victims, from physical force or um threats or any other thing. But now we have social media where predators get their victims. They lure their victims through manipulation, through social media. They may act like they may catfish, or pretend they're someone they're not. They have a lot of tactics, and they have a lot of things resources that they use to lure victims. And what I'm going to say is, please, if you're listening to me right now, you please be aware of people who are human trafficked. um I didn't write it down in my notebook, but I'm trying to remember from head. Signs of people who are being human trafficked: um they don't have any ID on them, they look malnourished, maybe they're around people that they may look uncomfortable around people. um it's a lot of stuff, but I had wrote on social media, on my social media pages, where you can find that and read, fully what I talked about human trafficking. But please be aware, human trafficking it's for all ages, all genders, all sexualities, all races. Human trafficking can happen to anyone. Human trafficking can happen to me, and you may never know. Anything can happen to anyone at any time, and I just want you guys to be aware. You know, if something may seem like someone is stalking you, you know, report that immediately. If someone, it just, or something just seems off, something seems weird, you know, report it. You know, if you see someone that you think may be trafficked, report that. You know, there is a number that I'm going to post on social media, but I'm also going to post it in the description. It's a contact info where you can contact the people to about if you think someone is trafficked, or if you're a victim of human trafficking, you can also use that contact information. And for all my teenagers that are listening to me right now, I just want to say, please just listen to me out. Hear me out. I'll say 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was going through a deep depression. Um, I was angry because I went through trauma experiences, and it caused me. I at a point in time where I ran away from home like 2 times, and both of those times were at night, and I could have been human trafficked then. You know, I could have been kidnapped. I could have did anything that night, but I was lucky enough to make it home safely. And what I'm gonna say is, if you're dealing with abusive parents or abusive, you know, people around you, you know, there are people you can call for help. There are resources out here that you can call for help. There are many things you can do. Um, it's you know, just don't run away, because if you run away, it makes the predators more easy, makes it easier for them to get to you. And for my adults out here, you know, I get it. You may not get that job that you want. You may not have that house that you want, the car that you want, the life that you want. But just because you don't have that doesn't mean you just go sell yourself, you know, to being trafficked. And for my people that that um that become predators, I just want to say, please do not let anyone influence you to be a predator. No matter what you went through, no matter what situations you went through in your life in the past is the past. You grow in the future. You grow every day. You need to grow in the future. And don't let anyone influence you to do anything bad that you don't want to do, or you know, they're just, because there are a lot of criminals out here that are smart. They will get someone else to do their dirty work rather than them. So, you know, you have to be smart. You have to know when right is right and wrong is wrong. For my predators out there, please, I don't know, just get the help that you need, because for you to sell another human, it shows the character. Or use another human for your gain. It shows a lot about your character. And I just want to say, please stop, please, because I'm 17 years old, and it breaks my heart to see people going through this. You know, going through human trafficking, and people still going through trafficking as of right now, as I'm talking about this video right now. People are being trafficked, and you know, it's hard and it's heartbreaking, because those people that are being trafficked, or people are being lured into trafficking, they might never see their family again. Or, you know, it's a lot of things that goes on with trafficking, and I feel like people need to be aware. You need to be aware. My advice would be maybe take some self-defense classes or something like that, because, you know, you never know when you need them. You never know when anything can go wrong, anything can happen. So I feel like you should, you know, that's my advice. Take some self-defense classes, or you know, there are many different websites or things you can do that show you to and tell you to how to stay safe from traffickers and predators. And I just want to say, be safe, please. Human trafficking is something that I'm going to be talking about more on my channel, on my social media platforms, because I really care about these important issues, and trafficking is one of these important issues that I really care about. Please stay safe. I love you. If you see anyone being trafficked, you know, I got contact info in the description. So yeah, you should be covered with that. So thank you for this, and I will be talking about more subjects later.